Hi, good afternoon. Happy Sabbath once again. Thank you so much for tuning in to this afternoon's program. Um, as advertised, we are dealing with healthy living. We're also dealing with the topic how to boost your immune system to fight against the COVID 19, uh, or rather, the virus, the coronavirus. Um, we have a very interesting program for you this afternoon. I have two brothers, two guests joining with me on this program this afternoon. They're joining all the way from upstate New York. I must warn you to, well, not warn rather, but to request your patience this afternoon because of the location of our guest. There may be a little bit of lag in the video at some point, and so we ask that you be a little patient. But the program is actually worth your patience this afternoon, as you will see later on. What we're going to do this afternoon also is to start off the program, we are going to play a few minutes of a webinar that they hosted a couple of days ago. It's a very powerful webinar, I must say, because I had a chance to go through it and to view it myself. And then we will go into the live discussion this afternoon where we discuss most of what was presented in the webinar, as well as your burning questions concerning COVID-19, such as, what foods or what you could do at your home to boost your immune system with various things that you have in your garden or at the supermarket or at the market itself. Some of the things that you could get, they will be able to give us, or they will be able to shed light on that to be able to tell us exactly what it is that we can do to boost our immune system. I, for one, want to know exactly what I need to do because I really don't want to catch this virus that is actually destroying many lives all around the world right now. You may be thinking that perhaps you are safe and you're practicing social distancing, you are using what do you call it, washing your hands and using sanitizers and all of that sort of thing, and you're safe, only to later find out that you actually caught the virus. So what it is we're saying is the immune system is really what you ought to boost in order to protect yourself. Yes, it's good to practice social distancing, wash your hands and all of that, but once you deal with the root of the issue, which is your immune system, you would be better off and more capable of fighting it. But I will leave that to the experts, the Saint-Just brothers. This afternoon we have Elder Renoir Saint-Just as well as Elder Ezra Saint-Just Jr., not senior. Let me just have them to say a little bit of a hello to you, bid you hello this afternoon, greet you. How are you doing?
Hello, hello.
How are you doing? How are you doing? Doing very well.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, as it relates to the COVID, New York right now it's a hot, it's a hot spot. It's very concentrated with COVID, and we're looking at very high cases, but primarily also within New York City area because of the high congestion of people. However, up by us where we're about a couple hours from the city. It's a lot less in concentration. However, I believe a lot more people need to be aware of what they can do as well to be able to continue to help themselves using the simple method that we'll be sharing today.
Great, great. You guys did a webinar, which I suppose you guys host many webinars every now and then, but this one dealt specifically to defending oneself against the COVID-19 or the coronavirus. What was the feedback like and the response from that particular webinar?
Well, the feedback was really amazing. A lot of people were really appreciated the information, and a lot of people, like one lady, she called on the phone, and she was actually crying, and she said that she's been so fearful because of this whole situation, and because we shared information with her what she can do practically, she was some of the fear being alleviated. And that's one thing that we wanted to share with individuals on the whole World Wide Web, things that you can do to build up your body to fight this virus called the coronavirus.
Great, great. So what we will do this afternoon, obviously, I want for persons who don't know about Eden Lifestyle, I will give you an opportunity to talk about that. As a matter of fact, before we do the presentation, let's do that so that persons can get to know you and your work, because we're not going to be able to go through the entire hour, almost 2 hours of that webinar. And let me just make the announcement right now. What we will do at Advent Channel, we are going to air in its entirety the webinar tomorrow afternoon at about 5:30 or 6 o'clock thereabout. We will confirm that time with you later. We'll send our usual notifications out, so those persons who normally follow Advent Channel, you will be able to receive that info, and you'll be able to log onto your account and on Facebook or on YouTube, and you'll be able to watch the program here this afternoon, tomorrow afternoon. For those persons who do not know about your work and what you guys do over in New York and all around the world, and I know that you guys travel to Trinidad, you've traveled to Europe, you've traveled all around the US, training individuals and teaching persons and also healing persons, or treating rather persons. So for those persons who don't know, just give us a little summary of the work that you do, the organization that you guys have founded, and just some of the success stories, if you will.
Yeah, so actually we started out from the love. That's where we all grew up, born and raised. Well, my brother's born in her, but raised in St. Lucia, and after moving out of St. Lucia, that's when we really grew a passion for ministry. And then with ministry, it evolved into health, because we realized that more people were interested in hearing about health rather than the gospel up front. So then we started our ministry and started centering around health as an opening door to help to share the gospel with individuals. And so we started off just going door to door, helping people from each door that we'll go to, canvassing, selling health books and so forth. And then it started to evolve even more, where our family was praying to open up a lifestyle center. And we were looking to actually open up one in Florida at the time, because we love our Caribbean weather, We couldn't see ourselves living somewhere in the snow, in the cold. But God had other plans for us. And after a while of doing that, about three years or so, we ended up in New York, and the Lord blessed us with a property here that it's like a house or home, like what we call sanitarium or lifestyle center. How it has about 23 bedrooms. It's on a few acres of land, and we bring people there from all different parts of the world to be helped with their health, all different types of conditions.
Mm-hmm. And also, in addition to that, the Lord has led us to being able to establish different aspects as it pertains to the Lifestyle Center. I'll just mention a little more details on that. Right. So far in New York, since 2016, we've been able to have this center running in New York. Prior to that, we've been doing house calls, going into the homes of people and being able to work with different health conditions, different health cases. Right now at the center, we basically deal with on a regular basis, from cancer to blood pressure issues, diabetic conditions, respiratory issues, along with many others. So far at the center itself, we haven't had.
Okay, as we did announce earlier, we are experiencing. There we go. You guys, yeah, you guys got lost for just a little bit, so we missed a little bit of the information that you're talking about. Let's go back to, you were talking about some of the illnesses that you have treated over the last couple of years.
cases from cancer, terminal cancer cases, different stages, also hypertensive conditions, diabetic conditions, respiratory issues, arthritic and other inflammatory issues as well, along with many others. And so we have any confirmed cases of the corona with our guests. However, we have had several individuals and guests who have also experienced symptoms of the corona as well. And through implementing some of the things too that will be shared, we're able to allow, see those symptoms disappearing in a short time frame as well. And with that being said, with as it pertains to different, the Lord has been working miraculously, and He's really showed us how to be able to co-labor with Him and using aggressive natural therapeutic agents to be able to rebuild and restore the body. One thing we believe at Eden Lifestyle is that there's no disease that is incurable, that God can heal any disease, and Corona is like any of the other ones. And there's a promise really I'll mention to you in Matthew 4 verse 23 that tells us, that God, Jesus Himself, says that it's able to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. So with that approach, us really to be able to work with different cases where we've seen over the past years. Just had a recent guest coming in to our center who was a returning health guest. Before that, she had breast cancer just a few weeks back. And she came back to testify as well that her breast cancer is completely restored. And I mean, she basically healed from breast cancer, and that she no longer have that as an issue as well. And, we get lots of different cases like that, lots of different testimonies like that coming in from guests who are actually able to stick to simple and natural therapeutic programs that God has created in the very beginning. So that's from the aspect of the Lifestyle Center, what has been going on and how the Lord has been using us as instruments as well to be able to serve others in that capacity.
Great, wonderful. I am really happy that you guys have decided to take on this health message. It's a pity you guys were not in St. Lucia when my mom fell ill. Otherwise, I would have definitely requested for your assistance to ensure that she got back on her feet. But so many other persons are benefiting from the work that you guys are doing, and I'm so happy, and may God continue to bless your ministry and continue to use you, particularly in these last days, as you've seen that a lot of persons are not really taking the health message seriously. Particularly disappointing is Seventh-day Adventists who are now just eating anything, anyhow, at any time. And obviously it's like, okay, we're experiencing, as we announced earlier, we're going to be experiencing a lot of that particular issue. So we apologize for the break in the feed coming from upstate New York. Let's just put it this way, that they're actually off grid, if you want to put it at that. They're sort of living off grid, and therefore the network is a little bit under par where they're located, and they're way up upstate in New York. Is that right?
Yeah, and we use satellite internet, so it's not the broadband that you used to. So
right,
depending on how the weather is, that's how good our internet is.
Oh wow, that's something. But wait, let's move quickly first to be able to capitalize on the good weather that I'm actually seeing, that's actually showing on Ezra's face over there right now. So at this time, what we're going to do is we are going to play for you a little piece of the webinar that was done by the St. Gilles family by Eden Lifestyle. At some point, we are going to break away from that and come back here to continue the discussion. So stay tuned, share this. Please remember also that if you're viewing on Facebook, to like the page and to follow the page, so that anytime we go live, you will be able to get instantaneously, you'll be able to get the alert informing you that we are live for future programs. We are also on YouTube, so persons who do not have a Facebook account, they can also share and view on YouTube. So without further ado, we are going to play for you this presentation right now.
We will go right into our presentation for today. Now, also, we're going to understand how to build a strong immune system that can fight the coronavirus. How to build a strong immune system that can help to fight the coronavirus. So today, in today's webinar, we're going to be going over a few things here today. So keep this in mind. For today's agenda, we're going to look at discovering how to survive the COVID-19 pandemic and strategies to protect yourself and your family as well. And then we're going to look at understanding the role of the immune system to protect against viruses. That's right. And also the best evidence-based lifestyle secrets to boost your immune system, proven methods of nutrition, herbal remedies, supplements, and cleansing and fighting viruses, as well as practical hands-on natural remedy demonstrations to boost your immune system effectively. Now, if you stay until the end, we will send you our ultimate guide to fight COVID-19 naturally for free. Yes, so if you stick around until the end of this webinar, we will be sending you a free guide on the ultimate guide to fight COVID-19 naturally. So, who are we? I mean, who are we? Some of you may not be familiar with us, and some of you may be, but also, who are we? So basically, we are Eden Lifestyle. We're Eden Lifestyle, and our mission is basically to be able to help people with health through the gospel and bringing this throughout all the world. And so, in short, we are basically a family. And also, we have other extended individuals as well, team members that have joined, a team member that have joined us as well in this mission right here in New York. We do operate a health and lifestyle center in upstate New York. Also, we have also been featured on networks like Dare to Dream Network. If anybody's familiar with Dare to Dream Network, it's a television program that is broadcast, all over the world. We have been featured on them many times as well. And also, we have also conducted seminars in many different parts of the world. And even this is us on a trip going down to, when was that? That's going down to?
Trinidad.
That's right, Trinidad and Tobago, to conduct a training out there in Trinidad and Tobago. And as you can see, this is the picture of when we did the training. I believe there was about how many people?
Close to 70 people, was it?
Yeah, about 70 people was there. I believe over 20 nurses, about 5 doctors was present. That we did a complete, a very intensive health evangelism training so that we can equip the people in Tobago, equip those in the class to be able to help those around them. And it was a very, very wonderful time that we had there as well. And this was in New York, where we conducted a training together with the Northeastern Conference. And as you notice here, these are young people. It was about, I believe, over 60 young people that was trained on how to use health effectively to help those around them, to help their neighbors, and to help their friends, and also to be able to apply those natural and even those important lifestyle changes to their own lives as well. And of course, we visited many conferences across the country. And as well as we've even met this gentleman. Remember, Ezra met this gentleman. We were actually doing a seminar at Plant-Based Summit in New York City. And guess who is that? This is a man. His name is Dr. T. Collins Campbell. And also we were presenting alongside T. Collins Campbell, he's basically a world-renowned scientist, and also a researcher as well. And he wrote the book called the China Study, and also contributed a lot to the Forks Over Knives documentary, if you ever heard about that as well. Now, this is actually one of our sessions at Eden Lifestyle Home, where we actually host health and also health and lifestyle programs and sessions at our health and lifestyle center. Now, also, we've worked with many individuals before, and as you notice here, I'm going to read this one testimony from Michelle. She said, Michelle said this. She said, "My dad did his test and he was cleared of the cancer. Wow. We actually helped her father with the situation that he had, which was cancer. And as you can see, this is the text message that we got from her of saying that her father was helped and he was now cleared and also from cancer. Now, also, you want to notice here again, another one, several testimonies from people with high blood pressure that has been lowered and people with many different issues. So we help people with all kinds of issues. And also we have seen, we have seen wonderful results as a result of this. So what makes this webinar training different? What makes this webinar training different today? Now, Renoir is going to share with us a very, very important story.
All right, so we'll start us off with a story here. This is my wife, as you can see next to me in this picture. Her name is Inga. Now, Inga, growing up, lived a very unhealthy lifestyle. And because of that unhealthy lifestyle, Inga, at a young age, suffered with asthma. And as she got older as well, you see that she developed bronchitis. And that bronchitis, as you know, anybody who knows about bronchitis, it reoccurred like every single year. And she had to battle with that for, a few years. She would go to the doctor and she would try to apply some of the things that they were recommending. And those were taking antibiotic shots and all these different things. But she grew worse and it never got better, or the issue never went away. So then Inga was so fed up. She was like, you know what? I need to make a drastic change in my life so I can see some different results. So she made a U-turn in her lifestyle. And also, she started using some natural remedies as well that we'll be showing you in this webinar. And Inga was able to overcome all her respiratory issues within 2 weeks of applying natural remedies to her life. Now, mind you, Inga was at a point where she almost choked on a mucus. She was having film coming out of her respiratory tract that was yellow and green. She couldn't even breathe when she jogged on the morning. She would have to lay down on the road if she exerted herself too much because her respiratory tract would close on her. And from coming from all of this now to being able to be free from her respiratory conditions, all of her respiratory conditions. And we even did a test. We ran as hard as we can and as fast as we can to see if anything will act up, her bronchitis or asthma, anything will act up. And guess what? It was all gone. She was able to breathe freely. And this is what we want to show you right here. When everything else fails, even the conventional methods fail, that you can use these natural remedial agencies to be able to overcome disease.
Yes, and also many people have done a lot of things right? And they have seen wonderful results, and praise God for that. It's wonderful to know that many people have done a lot of things right, but also there's a lot of people who have done a lot of things wrong. Now, after working with healthcare for the past years now, we noticed that we noticed the most effective natural remedies to fight disease, right? This is some things that we have learned. And also we have learned the best lifestyle to supercharge your immune system. These are some things that we have gathered by experience, gathered by working with people one-on-one, as well as proven methods of nutrition, herbal, natural remedies, supplements, and cleansing and fighting disease. So these are some things that we have learned in the past years of doing this. Now also, we discovered this the hard way. I must tell you this. We have discovered this the hard way because many times we have to spend so much time just reading materials, books, and seminars, and all kinds of things, and even spending money on different things to be able to try things out. And so what we want to give you here is the simple way, right? We want to give you the simple way. Because the hard way is this, right? Googling possible solutions for COVID, right? Because people are trying to find out what can I do in the mix of a coronavirus pandemic. People are trying to find out, how can I boost my immune system naturally? There's so much information out there. And so what I love about this training today is that we will compact everything for you in an organized way so that you can have exactly what you need to be able to protect yourself and your family. Now also, many people have been bombarded with so much information on the internet. There's so much stuff out there on YouTube, on Facebook. It's just bombarding us and people probably wondering. You're probably wondering, what should I do? What would I do? And also, then some people try other natural remedies or products without any proper direction. and without using these things intelligently, without applying it in the right way, and therefore it doesn't work the way that it should work for them. So this is the hard way, right? This is the hard way. So today, do you want the simpler way to gain better results? Let us see in the chat box. All you have to do is type yes. Do you want the simpler way to gain better results? Because we're going to put everything for you in an organized fashion, in an organized way, so you don't have to worry about trying to scramble and trying to find some things on the internet or in some little books you have at home, but we're going to put everything for you in a very organized way. So we're going to learn the top secret strategies. Do you want to know the top secret strategies we're going to be covering today? Okay. All right. Wonderful. So secret number 1 is the ultimate proven lifestyle approach. Secret number 2 is the best immune building nutritional plan. Secret number 3, the most powerful herbs that boost the immune system. Also, secret number 4, the best supplements to support your immune system, as well as secret number 5, how to safely cleanse your body to support your immune system, as well as secret number 6, which is potent and practical natural therapies that actually work. So the question now today is, what is COVID-19, or what we know as the coronavirus?
So based upon the definitions that we have right now, coronavirus, or what we know today as COVID-19, is a large family of viruses that cause illnesses ranging from the common cold to more severe diseases such as even Middle East respiratory syndrome or even severe acute respiratory syndrome. According to the World Health Organization, they've recognized that in 2019, the COVID-19 has been a new strain of this entire coronavirus. One thing to note is this: people who are at higher risk for coronavirus are basically people who are generally older in age and also people who have an underlying health condition as well. But then many times we see on news articles being placed out on the media streams, so many cases being blown up, which there are lots of cases, and also there are in fact many deaths as well. However, 80% of people in fact recover from COVID-19 without needing any types of hospitalization or even special treatment as well. And 94% of the people who contract the disease basically suffer mild conditions, and only 6% with serious or even critical conditions.
Now, one of the things that we need to do as well is to understand the immune system. What is the immune system's role in fighting COVID-19? And then we need to understand as well that our immune system protects us against bacteria and also viruses and fungi. And this is very important because we want to be able to boost our immune system, because in our body itself has all the mechanisms to fight disease and even infectious agents. So then we'll go into our next slide here and we'll see that there are two main immune subsystems. We have our innate immune system, and then we also have our adaptive immune system. So the innate immune system is designed to provide a kind of like shock and awe protection against bacteria, virus, and other invaders. And this innate immune system can be divided into two lines of defense. And those two lines of defense, we have the first one here, includes our physical or chemical barriers that are always ready and prepared to defend the body from infection. And that includes our skin, our tears, our mucus, cilia, stomach acid, urine flow, friendly bacteria, and white blood cells. So, for instance, if someone coughs into your face and that infectious agent enters into your nostrils, your nasal passageway, and tries to go down your respiratory tract, you have cilia and mucus lining all throughout your respiratory tract, and that bacteria or virus will stick to the mucus, and then your body produces histamine so you can get a reaction of coughing and sneezing, trying to propel that virus out of your system. That's your first line of your defense. And you want to work with your body. You don't want to take antihistamines to stop your body from doing what it needs to do. And our second line of defense, which is non-specific, and also it is a resistant that destroys invaders in a generalized way without targeting specific individuals. Now that is just saying that our body learns as we look at our adaptive immune system, our body learns viruses and it's able to fight the virus based upon how it has recognized it in the past, and it gives it has a tag on those viruses. But with our non-specific immune system, it does not recognize those viruses. That's some new viruses, like the coronavirus. If you've never been infected with the coronavirus in your life, then your first or your second line of defense will come in to try to fight the corona. And that's why you want to be able to boost your immune system. And then also now you have your adaptive immune system, which is a more targeted approach. As the immature T and B lymphocytes encounter invaders, they develop specific antibodies against them. And those antibodies recognizes a disease the second time it comes along, and if it comes and invades your body. And that's why if you were infected with the coronavirus, then the second time, your body will have a much better fighting chance of beating that disease. And sometimes you may not even see that much of the symptoms as the first, if you ever encounter experiencing the corona.
Now, we're going to be looking at this here today. Secret number one, then. As we have looked at how the immune system works and how it functions, an important role of the immune system in being able to protect you from invaders, from viruses, and from so forth, from other things. We're going to look at some ways in which we can be able to help to support the immune system in its process to be able to fight off and even to protect you from other things that are in the environment, other viruses, and other issues as well. Now, secret number one we're going to look at is the ultimate proven lifestyle approach. We're going to look at the ultimate proven lifestyle approach. And so with that approach, we summarize it in an acronym called God's Plan. God's Plan for boosting immunity. God's Plan for boosting immunity. I'm not sure if you heard about God's Plan before, but we're going to be looking at this in the acronym of God's Plan. So the first letter G that we're going to look at today is godly trust. Godly trust. And what does godly trust have to do anything with my immune system or with my lifestyle in general? Now, think about this for a moment. A wonderful book called Ministry of Healing. I'm not sure if anybody have heard about this book before. Ministry of Healing on page 241 lets us know this, right? By this wonderful writer. It says this: the relation that exists between the mind and the body is very intimate. Wow, that is amazing. So there's a relationship that is very intimate with the mind and also the body. So in other words, when one is affected, the other will sympathize. So when the mind is affected, it affects the body, and the body will sympathize with the mind, and vice versa. And also, take a look at this here again, stress. Stress has a big part to play with, especially with our mind. And I'm not sure if any one of you here do not have any stress in your life, but I know what stress is like because I do go through it as well. Now, stress is a very, very important thing to keep in mind, because the stress hormone, which is the cortisosteroid, can suppress the effectiveness of the immune system. Example, it lowers the number of lymphocytes. Picture this for a moment. Stress can also have an indirect effect on the immune system, as a person may use unhealthful behavioral coping strategies to reduce their stress. I mean, things like drinking, smoking, and other behavioral coping mechanisms that people use that are very unhealthy as well. So we can see how stress can impact your body, your mind, as well as impact your immune system, therefore suppressing the immune system's effectiveness to fight off other viruses or other things that may invade the body.
Also, the number 2 step for boosting your immunity is none other than that of open air. How many of us today have gone out into the fresh air? I know right now many are on quarantine. However, if you have a backyard, if you can't drive out to somewhere at a time that is convenient, we do ask you to take advantage of the fresh air. This is why, as we congregate in different areas that may be highly polluted, probably places like maybe main city areas, places with lots of industrial work going on, then it tells us that air pollution can create some major health problems. Highly polluted air has shown to cause things like a burning effect in the eyes, nose, and even throats. I mean, look at the research that was done. There's a research that was put out where basically in just 1 year, it was recognized that the presence of trees saved 850 lives and prevented 670,000 cases of acute respiratory syndrome. Now, that is huge. That it means to tell me this. Practically, what can we do about this principle? What you could do today is maybe head out into a park nearby that may have lots of trees around that you can be able to take advantage of the fresh air. Or maybe head out, take some drives to the country. Consider living in an area that has lots more trees and nature that surrounds you, like the country environment. And also, just to mention this as well, just the smell of fresh air bursts stress, like Moni was talking about, and even increases your happiness. How and also fresh air as well naturally oxygenates and energizes the body. So one more quick tip for you to be able to take in lots of fresh air, loads of fresh air, rushing into your bloodstream, feeding all your cells and being able to allow your body to gain energy and also reduce stress is practicing that of even deep breathing. Now, if you've never heard of deep breathing before, very simply put, what you can do right now, even as we speak, and even after this webinar, is be able to go ahead and just take in a deep gasp or a deep breath, breathing in. Then as you take it in as long as you can, maybe even up to 10 seconds, however long you can, then you want to breathe out slowly.
All right. Okay. I see Ezra is just about to leave. But we are back. As we indicated earlier, that we would just be playing a very short clip from the webinar, which was held a few days ago. For those persons who are just joining us and enjoying the webinar, we are going to play the full webinar in its entirety tomorrow afternoon at about between 5:30 and 6 p.m. Eastern time. So you could join Advent Channel for that pre-recorded broadcast, if you will. For the rest of the webinar, we are going to put our telephone number on the screen here. Again, the topic this afternoon is how to boost your immune system to fight off the COVID, or rather the coronavirus, or COVID-19. And my guest this afternoon is Elder Renoir Saint-Gis and Ezra Saint-Gis, joining me from upstate New York. We have folks watching from Minnesota, Canada, Australia. We have folks watching from the Philippines. We say welcome to you. We have folks from the UAE. So we say welcome to all of you joining us wherever you are. If you stay until the end of this broadcast, the Eden Lifestyle Ministry personnel that's on with us right now, the Saint-Gis brothers, will be sharing with you the full guide of how you can protect yourself from the COVID-19 as well as boost your immune system. So they will be sharing that with you at the end of this broadcast. So if you stay with us, and also, you know, don't be selfish. Invite your friends, invite your family. It's not too late because we're just starting the actual discussion in terms of how to build your immune system. So invite your friends or share the link and let them know that this program is on so that they will be able to be blessed just as much as you will. So Ezra, Renoir, quite a bit of interesting information that you guys have been putting out in this webinar. We were talking about, well, you guys were talking about God's plan, the acronym, and breaking that down to explain to us the various or the easy steps, the simple steps you can actually follow in order to boost your immune system. So the first question for you here this afternoon is, in a nutshell, what would you say would be the three main things that an individual can do right now to boost their immune system?
Yeah, so what we'll say, I mean, there are several different main things. One of the key ones, which I'll generalize it, is number one is being able to have the right lifestyle that will be able to accommodate immune system, a healthy immune system function. And like was being mentioned, and like you mentioned as well, that lifestyle is generally categorized under the acronym called God's Plan, which is being able to trust in God, open air, daily exercise, sunlight, proper rest, lots of water, temperance, and also proper nutrition. So then, being able to have the proper lifestyle is something that is extremely essential. Well, number one, and maybe I guess throughout the webinar, some of it that was covered, and some more that you'll be getting as well tomorrow as it pertains to those topics. And also, number two that we mentioned as well is being able to do things as well naturally, taking things like we'll probably share some more details, but being able to use some natural remedies, natural herbs that may be able to help in boosting the immune system as well. And we'll share more details with you as we go along, because there are many powerful natural alternatives that are there as well that we've seen working very powerfully, increasing white blood cell counts, allowing the body to fight off viruses and be able to overcome, especially this issue as well. It's being able to use that, whether it may be for preventative means or also to overcome that situation too, but to basically to strengthen the immunity. So having the proper lifestyle, being able to implement any forms of natural herbs or other remedies that may assist, and I don't know to add the
and also the therapies as well. Therapies are very powerful, and we have different type of therapy, hydrotherapy, and we can probably even discuss some of those things that you can do as well, even from St. Lucia, and having access to some of the things, because when I go back home every now and then in St. Lucia, I try to look for some of those things to do some natural therapies when I help different individuals. So there are things available in right where you are that you can use that can help you.
Right. Apologies once again. We are experiencing technical difficulties.
Yes, to help you overcome coronavirus if you happen to contract the virus, and also to build your body up to the point where you can even prevent the virus from getting too severe. And that's what we want to do.
Great. We're still experiencing technical difficulties. For persons who just joined us and didn't understand why we're having the technical issues, it's simply because it's not a major issue per se, but it's really because the Saint-Just family or Eden Lifestyle is actually situated off grid, if you will, upstate New York, away from the city, away from everything, up in the mountains. I think your dad calls it Glory Mountain. So they're able to speak to us here this afternoon via satellite. So with the aid of satellite internet. So we're thankful for that, and we're thankful for the good weather that's actually permitting them to be able to, in spite of the break and the interruption every now and then, but we're still good. So we ask for your patience, and we ask that you will be able to stay with us until the end of the program. And like we said earlier, we are going to give away the complete guide that you can follow to boost your immune system in order to fight the coronavirus. Renoir, you were talking about the fact that you're coming to St. Lucia. Now, bear in mind, our viewers are not only from St. Lucia. They're around the region in the Caribbean. They're also from the U.S. I've just been seeing some persons talking about being from Austin, Texas, Chicago, some other areas as well, letting us know where they're from. So we have persons from all around the world. So obviously you spoke to persons living in St. Lucia in terms of some of the things that they can actually do. But what I would want from you is to tell our viewers exactly what those things are, what some of those foods are that they can actually get their hands on to be able to use and to boost their immune system. So not just things that you could get in St. Lucia, but things that you could get at your regular supermarket or at the market itself, and perhaps you can grow in your backyard as well.
Yes, so using food, so approaching it from a lifestyle standpoint is the best, because that's something that you do every single day. You eat every single day. So if you keep feeding your body life every single day, then you're building up your body. And but before we get it deeper into that, I wanted to address maybe a little bit about the coronavirus, just so that people can remain calm during this time. It's not, if you tune into the news, and you look at the news every single day, you'd probably get a heart attack or anxiety attack because
Right.
it's just
Okay, again, we apologize for the break in connection here.
yes, and it's
Yes.
just being blown out of proportion by the media. And when I was looking at the stats before, it showed that about maybe 2% of people were dying who had contracted the coronavirus. And now in New York, they're doing a lot of antibody testing, and now they're finding out that probably 20% of the people in the state of New York have been infected by the coronavirus. That would be 2.7 million percent of people. So that brings down the mortality rate way down, closer to something like the influenza, the regular flu, somewhere between, like probably like 0.5% of the mortality rate so you would have 0.5% chance of dying out of 100 people. So just
Right.
to remain calm and also go about this very intelligently and logically. And that's what we want to share with you here. So some of the foods that you can do here, we like to break it up into different categories that you can eat. So we look at the like cruciferous vegetables, and there was a study done on kale specifically that a cup full of kale, or even just adding a billionth of a gram of kale, of protein per liter, that quadruple the antibody production in our system. So kale and cruciferous vegetable have the same effect on our bodies. So if you want to boost up your immunity and boost up your antibody production, which your antibodies help you to memorize disease and fight disease, then you eating kale and cruciferous vegetables. I know that in the Caribbean and other parts of the world, some people eat more greens, leafy vegetables than others, but we have to incorporate more of that into our diet. So now, if you just eat a billionth of a gram of kale protein, and that can help to quadruple your antibody production, just imagine eating a whole plate full of kale or any other the cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and all these different things. Just imagine eating a whole plate full. So we want to just tell individuals, let's eat more raw, eat more leafy vegetables, and also orange fruits and vegetables. So you have stuff like oranges, papaya, pumpkin, all these different orange and fruits and vegetables. When you eat those foods, they are high in beta carotene. This is the precursor to vitamin A and C, both essential nutrients to support a healthy immune system. So just stock up on your oranges, even grapefruit, all of those orange fruits and vegetables. Bell peppers is also high as well in vitamin C, and that will help you to fight off, to build up your immunity. Sorry.
So, okay, so we again, we apologize for the consistent break here.
Yes.
But nonetheless, we're still not missing anything. Here's the thing. So in other words, we're talking about vitamin C, building or increasing our intake of vitamin C. And some of the foods that would contain vitamin C would be, like you mentioned, oranges or those type of fruits. Or in fact, mostly all fruits contain vitamin C. So you're basically saying that's one aspect of it. And we know that vitamin C is very good. It's very effective to deal with viruses as well. And also boosting your immune system as well. We're talking about also some of the foods that we should eat. But at some point, I also want to talk about all the bad healthy habits that would also break down our immune system. Because we know we spend a lot of time talking about all the right things that we ought to do. But what are some of the wrong things that we are doing? For instance, a lot of persons might be living their life and having their regular lifestyle and not knowing that there's something that they're doing that is actually contributing, or it's more like a counterproductive. So yes, you're actually trying to boost your immune system, but at the same time, you're working against it by doing certain things that is actually breaking the immune system down. So yes, you take one step forward and then you take two steps backward because of their lifestyle. So we'll also talk about that. But let's continue talking about some of the other foods and some of the things that persons can actually take to improve their system.
Okay. So and another category here that you can eat from, your nuts and seeds, especially sunflower
Right.
seeds, almonds, and even pumpkin seeds. In addition to vitamin C, vitamin E also plays a key role in immunity. And this fat-soluble vitamin, it boosts the activity of the immune cells to support the body's ability to fend off invading bacteria and viruses. And also, just an ounce of sunflower seeds or quarter cup supplies about a half the daily recommended target for vitamins E. And the same size portion of almonds contains 45% of our daily goal as well. So just talking up on your raw nuts and seeds, that will help you as well to boost your immunity and your immune function. And another one is, prebiotic foods. A lot of time people talk about probiotics, and sometimes why we don't stress a lot on probiotics is because those probiotics, it's sometimes derived from animals and, all different types of places. So we try to encourage people to take your prebiotics. And 70%, the reason why prebiotics is important is because 70% of our immune cells are located in our gut or in our colon. Foods that helps, that are prebiotic foods, that helps to build up our good bacteria in our gut. And that would be Jerusalem artichokes, onion, garlic. Onion, garlic is that's universal foods. You can find it anywhere in the world. Asparagus, leeks, even bananas are a good source of prebiotics as well. So just talking up in that, chopping up your garlic in your salad, cooking with your garlic and your onions and so forth. Not only would it help to build up your bacteria in your gut, but also these foods are antimicrobial as well.
Great. So Ezra, have you guys ever started treating anyone that have been suffering with the coronavirus, or perhaps have recovered? And any patients?
Yes. So basically, right now, for the past few weeks, usually we operate health sessions at our facility every month, and due to just certain different requirements, also in New York, it's sort of impacted the health sessions itself. So that way, we haven't been having consistent health sessions at our lifestyle center. However, one way in which we've been working with people is we've been working with people long distance and being able to send forth different protocols, different programs, and also a lot of people have been calling in to buy some of our immune boosting items and products as well. That have been a huge blessing in being able to help many. I mean, I was mentioning as well earlier as it pertains to our lifestyle center. Then one of the main things that we have experienced are people who have had symptoms of the corona, but not necessarily confirmed cases at the center itself. And we've been able to handle those and be able to implement different natural protocols and therapies where in a very short time we're able to see them being able to overcome those symptoms. However, individuals also have been contacting us throughout New York City, and we've been getting calls from all over different states as well, primarily the United States, as we work more heavily in that area. And we've been sending out different items to individuals, and they've been reporting lots of different results that they've been getting from it as well.
Yes.
Go ahead. No, in fact, someone recently sent us a message. I was trying to pull it up just to be able to mention, but I'll just generalize what she was saying. She sent a message because she's been using some of our herbal formulations as well, and she's been sharing it with others. And from her too, lots of people have been calling and got some of those herbal formulas too. And she recognized that because it had a huge impact upon her, she's also been sharing it with other individuals who are facing corona as well down in the city area. And as a result, they too have been experiencing marked results with that in being able to overcome the symptoms and being able to fight off this corona issue. Okay, great. So we're back on. So right now, basically, we're about to have over 50 more people right now on some of our programs for being able to help the entire immunity to fight against this issue as well. So we are getting a lot more calls. The demand is growing more, and we are a non-medical facility, so we don't use the regular medical approach. However, we implement natural therapies and approach without the regular use of drugs and medications.
Yeah, and
Okay.
also there's one of the ladies that came to our lifestyle center as well as mentioning. She shared her easy brew formula that we created here at our lifestyle center, and some of the herbs you can probably talk about it on this discussion as well. And after they use the two confirmed cases of coronavirus, and after COVID-19, and after they use the formula, they say they saw a significant improvement in their breathing. So so some of the herbs and everything that we share with you have been effective with people who even could have confirmed with the coronavirus.
Where can people get some of those herbs and to follow some of the instructions? Because I would imagine the guide that you will be providing, if it's not in the guide, at least persons could reach you. We will leave your contact information, your website information and that sort of thing towards the end of the program, so that persons can get more information from you. But can you just tell persons where they could get some of those herbs and some of those other things that they can actually use to be able to follow your guide to boost their immune system or even to treat this particular virus if they happen to have it?
Yeah, so I know there are a few health food stores all around the world, in many different places. So if you can look, at different health food stores, see what they have. Some of them may be open, some of them may not. I know up here the health food stores are still open, and also online. You can order some stuff online, try to get it. But also, for those who are in the United States, because currently we do shipping throughout the United States, we do have some of those things available. But wherever you may be, you can look online to look for these herbs. You can check for your local health food stores. And if you're in a community where people grow herbs, you can, try to ask your neighbor, you see what they have. And I know sometimes in the Caribbean, you have those things growing wild. And those herbs can really help you right in your backyard and you don't know it.
Also, just to add on as well, a lot of things in that guide as well also shows you how you can provide different food combinations that gives a very intensified effect of immune boosting and being able to fight off viruses. So, for example, you'll see for example, you'll see different mixtures that have like garlic, onions, and different components like that you would typically use on a worldwide level, where it makes it so simple that wherever you are from, whether from the Caribbean or whatever the region, European region, United States or Australia, then you can be able to find those things that you can implement as well to be able to get your immune system strengthened and boosted.
And also some of the food items that we have in there, you probably have in your kitchen right now. So so hopefully you can start consuming some more of those foods that you can find right in your kitchen or your pantry.
All right, great. Let me just basically, state that we're not saying that if you are diagnosed with COVID-19, that you follow exactly, or you try to treat yourself at home. We're basically trying to tell you things that you can, and correct me if I'm wrong, Renoir, we're basically trying to tell you things that you can do as of now, even if you don't have the coronavirus, but things that you can do to avoid it. Now, if you are diagnosed, we don't know if you may have underlying issues and stuff, and obviously the Eden Lifestyle is not actually operating in St. Lucia to actually try to reach you and to see if they could actually get you back on your feet. So to attempt to do it on your own without having the professional help that you have, we don't want to put you in a situation where you end up dying. So, if you are actually diagnosed, it's better if you seek medical attention. Otherwise, if you actually live near Eden Lifestyle and you can reach them to get treated, then you also have that option to do that. So we don't want to make you believe that if you have COVID-19, and you could just stay at your home and treat yourself. So this is not what we're saying. You need to be able to be seen by a professional. And I must say that the Saint-Gis family, Eden Lifestyle, they've been doing this for a number of years. They have the experience, they have the success rates to back up a lot of the treatment regimes that they have in place for persons for various illnesses and that sort of thing. We'll talk a little about that a little later, at least before we end. Obviously, we want to talk about some of we want to move away from COVID-19 to talk about even cancer for that matter. As we saw in the webinar, one person in particular had taken her dad or someone or loved one to get tested and found out after following the regime that they were now cancer-free. So we'll talk about that a little later. Let's go now into, obviously, we've spoken about how they're going to come back on shortly, but we spoke about how you could boost your immune system and things that you can actually do to help boost your immune system. It's also in the guide that we'll be giving to you at the end of the broadcast. But for now, let's also talk about the other side of it. So yes, you've boosted your immune system, or you're actually taking in the foods and the herbs and all of those things. But there's some things that you're still doing wrong. So what are some of the things that persons need to be able to be aware of that will work against? Because some persons will say, well, you know what, Brother Saint-Gis, I did watch your program, I did listen to you, I did follow, I did take the herbs, I did the fruits and the nuts and all of that, and I still got the virus. I still get the flu. I still, so it's not necessarily the fact that they followed through with this and they didn't get boosted, but they might have been doing other things to work against, or rather to counteract or work against the boosting of the immune system. So what are some of the things that we need to be wary of, or we need to be able to change in terms of our lifestyle? Some of the foods that we must stay away from. I know that you guys may want to talk about acidic foods and alkaline foods. Also, you may want to talk about fast foods and all of those other things that may end up causing more damage than good. So let's talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, and also just to understand that 80% of people who develop severe disease from coronavirus have underlying conditions.
Correct.
Have 2 or 3 other conditions, medical conditions, whatever, high blood pressure, diabetes, and even when you smoke cigarettes, that will also increase your chances developing the coronavirus, the COVID-19.
And that's basically lifestyle diseases.
Yes.
Yeah, lifestyle diseases.
Lifestyle. So we'll go right into some of the things that you should be avoiding, even to prevent some of those other diseases and to prevent developing a severe case of the COVID-19.
Yes, and one of our very favorite books as it pertains to health, wellness, and healing is that of Ministry of Healing, and it tells us in Ministry of Healing, it's around page 271, I believe, where it says that in case of sickness, it tells us different steps that we can take to be able to overcome different sicknesses and also prevent it. In case of sickness, it says the cause should be ascertained. Seeing, okay, what is it that may be causing probably poor immunity? What is it that is causing my immune system to be severely weakened? Then it says unhealthful conditions should be changed. Am I in an environment where I may be overexposed to, let's say, the COVID-19 or whatever?
Okay.
Yes, am I in a position where I overexposed to some of the germs, viruses from being affected or impacted? Then the number 3 step it gave in Ministry of Healing, it tells us that that wrong habits should be corrected. After wrong habits is corrected, then it says, then nature is to be assisted in an effort to expel impurities and reestablish right conditions in the system. The final step after you do all the 3 steps mentioned is that of assisting nature through the different natural mediums that God has given to us, like we've been mentioning, from the herbs to all the other natural therapies, etc. However, I want to stress that number 3, like the question was asked, number 3, wrong habits should be corrected. Now, what are some wrong habits that may be impacting our immune system negatively, that is suppressing it, and that is being able to not allow us to fight off maybe corona or even the common cold as well, and other types of viral agents properly? Then one of the key things is that of even sugar. Now, I know many people may grow up, and I also grew up on sugar, and it's something that that was in everything that I ate, from my cereals to my tea. It was all over my sodas and chocolates, and it was in so many different products that I almost at that time couldn't even escape it. It basically followed me everywhere, and I recognized this that. After a while of working with individuals, we recognize that sugar has a huge impact in suppressing the immune system, and it's also one of the most highly acidic food that you can also eat. Now, I know a lot of times when we think of acidic foods, we think of maybe, which is true, the dairy and the meats and everything else. However, something to note is sugar is even more highly acidic as well, and something that you definitely want to guard against and use something different. Maybe get more natural sweeteners, maybe things like your honeys, agave, molasses, or something that you can be able to use that may not, that wouldn't be as refined and acidic as that of your refined sugars. Also, something else that really weakens the immune system is that of fat. And lots of fatty food suppresses the entire immunity. As a result, it even constipates you at the same time, and it delays your transit time to go into the restroom. So imagine what that is doing for your gut. Like we've been saying,
Wow.
79% of your immune system is in your gut. So imagine eating lots of fat, being constipated, even up to 72 hours as a result, suppressing your immune system. Now your chances of fighting corona has just been decreased by whatever percentage it is. So you definitely want to be able to cut out, especially animal fats, which has a huge impact upon you. Now, what does that look like? You don't go to the supermarket, the corner store, or you don't go down to these. What we do is we go to the KFC, the McDonald's, we go to the all the other fast foods, the Chinese, and whatever local food fast food stores as well. And we say, hey, can I get a meat burger, or can I get a cheeseburger, or can I get a chicken wing, or this is the form in which fats come. And as a result of eating, like you were saying, lots of fast foods, eating lots of whether we cook it from home as well, it still has certain impacts as well upon us, especially now coupling it with lots of oils, frying it, making it even worse. We're basically consuming dead food. And like we've been saying, when food is dead, the only thing it could produce in the body is death. In order for it to produce life, you must be able to begin eating life. And just to mention a couple more very quickly now, also that of dairy. Dairy has a huge impact too, where basically severely is highly acidic too, and it's also highly mucus forming. And by consuming a high amount of dairy, we've seen individuals developing lots of mucus as well, where now if they were to be contracted with another virus, then the body even exaggerates the mucus production even more, to the point where even their breathing is severely impacted. Maybe many individuals too are experiencing issues from severe breathing and so on, because they've been consuming all those foods that is high mucus forming. It definitely eliminating the dairy, eating something else, replacing it with something better, whether it may be from your coconut milk, if it's like your regular milk that you're doing, or almond milk, or whatever it is. Those will be a lot better, where you wouldn't be producing that unhealthy mucus as you naturally would. That is preventing many from being able to experience that full restoration and that they need.